I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Comments?
Roll call, please. At this time, Supervisor Grady and Brunig are not in attendance. I'm sure they will be forthcoming. At this point, we will open it up to citizens' comments. Any citizens wishing to speak, please approach the mic. Any citizens wishing to speak? Any citizens wishing to speak? Seeing none, citizens' comments are closed. This time, we'll move on to the presentation of the 2014 budget by Supervisor Rose. Supervisor Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Let me begin by saying that the budget was reviewed by the Finance Committee and unanimously endorsed. Some of the highlights of the budget are these. The general purpose levy for 2014 has a increase of 1.8%. So this is, I think, a very modest increase by today's standards. Total expenditures for the county increased by about $3 million, or 1.5%. The major levy impacts on the budget are these. First, personnel increases, or personnel costs have increased by $1 million. The sheriff's federal inmate holds have been reduced to 195 prisoners. This, of course, is no guarantee. The federal government doesn't say to us, we will guarantee you have 195 people in 2014. But we are anticipating, based upon past experience, that 195 is a safe number for 2014. Of course, if it exceeds that, it is certainly very much to our benefit. If it does not reach 195, we would need to make some substantial adjustments along the way. But we feel that 195 is realistic. The debt service, and I think this is well to remember, which becomes very much part of the levy, has decreased in 2014 by some $388,000. Sales tax revenue increases $300,000. Human services loss of state aids results in a reduction of some $750,000. That's a substantial number and perhaps a trend in the future, but the budget deals with it, and we still have that levy increase of 1.8%. Brookside this year, we're happy to report, is going to have a budget surplus, some $785,000 plus. We hope this is something that bodes well for the future. This is not the usual, but it's a very good standard, and we're pleased with that. The Department of Aging and Disability Services has an increase of $140,000 for mental health commitments. The drug court now is going to be paid for from $140,000 from county funds. Joint Services increases their budget $303,216 for 2014. The Treasury revenue reduced by $175,219. You've got to remember that interest rates are substantially less than they were a number of years ago. We think the trend is certainly going to remain with low interest rates, thus the reduction in the revenues that you can expect from the Treasury. The budget meets the state levy limit requirements. One of the, I think, important factors that impacts this budget and could impact budgets in the future is the decrease in equalized value. In 2014, that figure is a decrease of $403,000, $403 million, I'm sorry, in 2014. I'm losing my voice here, but
Not a time to fail, Terry.
We had Mr. Harrigan at one of our meetings, and we were talking about the issue of equalized value. And as you know, this has a very important impact on your budget. This kind of decrease in equalized value is something that is projected for a number of years in the future. You know, those things can turn around if there's sudden growth here in the community, and we're certainly hopeful of that with a number of the projects, and perhaps that will bring more residential development. But those people like Mr. Harrigan and others are projecting a decrease in equalized value of 2014 of $403 million and further decreases in the future. I think these are some of the highlights of the budget that are going to impact us. The budget resolution also is an important document. Some of the highlights there in that budget resolution, we rescind the Brookside Care Center non-lapsing policy, which simply means that if there's a surplus such as we have this year, that surplus will go in the general fund, not into a Brookside fund. We have $250,000 set aside for the CABA High Impact Fund, and if they need more, $250,000 in additional is appropriated, so a total of $500,000. There's a resolution before you this evening which would bond for $1,500,000, so that would take care of this $500,000 plus some future CABA impact funding as well. We deal with the drug forfeiture funds, $5,000 or greater in capital goods being purchased by the Sheriff's Department, having county board approval. The budget also has in it a $100,000 so that a study can be made, a comprehensive view of county compensation for the future for those who are employed by Kenosha County. And also some capital projects are listed in the budget, the major being the administration building, joint services software, and the public safety answering point are funded for the next 2 years. If you look at your budget, it also includes a number of personnel policies that are important to employees. Those changes in county employees, county policies are attached and incorporated with the budget resolution. There are some changes from prior year, and those are marked for your review. That's the budget that the committee has unanimously presented and will ask for your endorsement tomorrow night. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Rosen. I hope your cold gets better. This time, if I could have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Who said that? It's been moved by Supervisor Arrington, seconded by Vice Chair Kubicki to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that meeting is adjourned. If there's no objection, we'll roll right into the next. Seeing no objections, we'll roll right into the next meeting. Call that meeting to order and ask for another roll call, please. Thank you. At this time, we'll open the meeting up to citizens' comments. Any citizens wishing to speak? Any citizens wishing to speak? Any citizens wishing to speak? Seeing none, citizens' comments are closed. Announcements of the chair. I just have one. The United Way information's on your desk. If you choose to participate, please see the clerk for that. This time, we'll move on to supervisor reports. Seeing no supervisor reports, we'll move on to new business.
Resolution 61 from Chairman Gentz, a resolution to hold the annual meeting on November 5th, 2013.
Vice Chair Kubicki.
I'll move Resolution 61.
Resolution 61's been moved by Vice Chair Kubicki, seconded by Supervisor Rose. Vice Chair Kubicki.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a housekeeping resolution. The date of November 5th for the annual meeting of the board has already been set in the spring of this year. It's already been published to take place on November 5th and November 6th to have the annual budget scheduled already in the paper. Wisconsin statute states that the annual meeting should take place on the second Tuesday, or on the Tuesday after the second Monday in November. But the statute also states that we can establish a rule to have it on an earlier date, such as what we're trying to accomplish here tonight. That being said, I would hope for your approval of this resolution tonight. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Seeing no lights, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Actually, do we need anything? Do we need a roll call or anything on that? No? Okay. That resolution passes. Go ahead.
Approval of the October 15th, 2013 minutes by Supervisor Underhill.
Minutes.
Adjourn Sendai. Oops, sorry.
Supervisor Underhill has moved the minutes for October 15th, seconded by Supervisor Boyd Frederick. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Those minutes are approved. It's been moved by Supervisor Decker, seconded by Supervisor Kohlmeyer to adjourn Sindai. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we move on to the next meeting. If there's no objection, we'll continue with this meeting. Call to order again. Roll call, please. Thank you. Again, we'll open it up to citizens' comments. Any citizens wishing to speak? Any citizens wishing to speak? Any citizens wishing to speak? Seeing none, citizens' comments are closed. I have no announcements. We'll move on with the agenda.
County Executive Appointments. 21, Lieutenant Gil Ben to serve on the Kenosha County Land Information Council.
Refer to the PDEC committee.
22, Lieutenant Gil Ben to serve on the Kenosha County Local Emergency Planning Committee.
Refer that to Judiciary and Law.
New business, policy resolution, first reading to required from Finance Administration Committee regarding 2014 Kenosha County budget. Rose, yes. Ron Frederick, yes. O'Day, yes. Grady, yes. Kohlmeyer, yes. Kubicki, yes. Molinaro, yes.
Okay, we'll move on.
Claims, Elizabeth Dzibinski, DBA Patriot Truck Service Incorporated, cracked windshield.
Refer to the Corporation Council.
Jamie Sokolsky, damaged tire.
Refer to the Corporation Council.
Second.
Moved by Supervisor Decker, seconded by Supervisor Esposito to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.
Better to be